Hey guys, it's Apurva. Welcome back to another video. In this beginner series, we are going to make a 2D platformer game. This series is meant to be for absolute beginners. So, let's start with the first video of this series. Hey guys, this is what we are going to make today. Let's start. Just open your preferred browser and type unity.com, and as soon as you press enter, it's going to take you to this website, which is Unity's official website. Just click on get started. Then it will brought you to this page where you can buy different plans for Unity. There's personal, plus, pro and enterprise tier. I have already explained all of this in my Unity versus Unreal video. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description, and I will also put a card up there. But right now, if you're watching this video, that means you are a beginner. You haven't downloaded Unity yet. So what you can do is in the personal tier, just click on get started because it's free and it has most of the features. So when you click get started, it's going to ask you like a question here, if you're a first time user or a returning user. Because you're downloading Unity for the first time, of course you're a first time user. It really doesn't matter here whether you click first time user or returning user, but since you are a beginner, let's just click on the first time user and it's going to pop up the terms and conditions. So read through the terms and click on agree and download. What it's going to do is download Unity Hub. It has started the download. So I'm going to open it. The setup of Unity Hub is pretty simple. It's like any other program you would set up on your computer. Just double click to run the program. On this tab, just click on I agree and choose your desired location where you want to install Unity Hub and just click on install. I already have Unity Hub installed, so I'm not going to install it. After install, just open Unity Hub. As soon as you open Unity Hub, you are going to be brought to this page. I already have a personal license activated, but when you first time open Unity Hub, you will not have anything here. So what are you going to click is click on the activate new license. That's gonna pop up this window. Just click on whichever Unity version you have. If you have Unity Plus or Pro, just copy and paste serial number here and click done. But if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you have Unity Personal. So just click on Unity Personal and choose whatever options suits you best and click on done. It's going to activate a new license. Also, one thing I noticed here, you might need to sign in. I already have signed in. That's why it didn't ask me to sign in my Unity account. But if you are opening Unity Hub for the first time, you need to sign in here. And also, like I'm assuming that you don't have any Unity account right now, so you might need to create one. It's nothing complicated. It's just give your personal details and create an account with your Gmail or email. So after logging into your Unity account, you can activate a new license. After activating a new license, close the preferences tab and come to here. As you can see, I have a lot of projects in my projects tab. That's because I have worked on these projects. But in your case, your Unity Hub will be empty. If so, just don't worry about any of this. Your Unity Hub projects tab will be empty. Just click on installs. Your installs will also be empty, but since I have installed a Unity version, that's why it's showing here. Yours will be empty. So just click on add and it's going to pop up this window. Select whichever version you prefer. I would suggest you select the recommended release because right now it's an LTS version, which stands for long-term support. LTS version is like the best version you can get. You will get 2 years of support here, meaning until 2022, Unity is going to provide you with patches or updates with Unity 2020. So it's a great choice in my opinion, but you can choose any other version you like. If you like to test new features, you can choose beta versions or in this case alpha version, but choose whatever Unity version you prefer and click on next. This is the add modules to your install. The defaults one are fine, documentation and Microsoft Visual Studio. So select whatever modules you want and click on next. After that, Visual Studio community license terms will pop up. Make sure you read the license. Come back here and click on I have read and agree. Just agree with the license and click on done. It's going to start your Unity download. As you can see, it's started here, but I'm not going to install it because I already have a Unity version installed. So let's again go back to the projects view and click on new. This is how you create new projects in Unity Hub. So as you can see on the left hand side, there are some templates mainly for 2D, 3D, high definition RP and universal render pipeline. High definition RP or HDRP for short is for PC games that have a good graphics quality, and universal render pipeline is for games that are made for mobiles, or if you're making a mobile game or Android game, you should consider selecting the URP or universal render pipeline. It's lightweight and it gives good performance in mobile games and Android games. And 2D and 3D are, what 2D and 3D is. I don't need to explain that, but just click on whichever you prefer. In our case, since we are going to create a 2D game, I'm going to select the 2D template. Here you can give your project a name. I'm going to name my project 2D platformer. And there's also the location. You can select where you want to save your Unity projects. I already have a folder in my local drive called Unity projects. My all Unity projects are in there, so you can do that, or you can save wherever you want. Just select your preferred location, give your project a name and click on create. It's gonna take some time and create the project. After you have opened a project, this is what Unity's interface looks like. This is like the 2D space here. You can move around the 2D space. There's also the game view. Game view is like whatever your camera sees, the game sees that. You can organize Unity's tab any way you want. I can take the game view and dock it here. I can take the project tab and dock it here. I can take the console and dock it here. I can basically do. Hey guys, I just quickly wanted to say that if you're enjoying this series, please hit the like button and subscribe and press the notification bell to stay updated on the channel upload whatever I want and manage it however I like. But if you are at some point, if you are lost, you want to switch back to the default settings, you can always click on layout and select the default layout, and it's going to reload the Unity editor to its default state, I guess, or default layout. As you can see, I'm zooming in with the scroll wheel and panning with the scroll button. There's actually a button. If you press the scroll wheel, you will feel there's a button. So I'm panning around. Just click on every button. Click on scroll wheel button and click on right click on the mouse and see what happens. You will find out what happens. Now let's create a sprite, and you can also see that in the game view we can see the square through the camera. And if you look at the inspector while selecting the square, there's some components on the square. We have a transform and a sprite renderer. No matter what object you bring to the scene view, it's always going to have a transform component attached. Transform component is keeping three data. One is position, where the object is in the 3D space or 2D space, rotation, like how the object is rotated, and scale, how big the object is. But right now we don't have any idea where this square is in the 2D space. What we can do is hover our mouse to the transform and right click on the transform, and you will see that a menu pops up, and the first option is reset. So we are going to click on reset, and it's gonna reset the square's position to 0 0 0, which is like the center of the origin, you can say. Also down projects window we have a folder called scenes. As you can see in the scene view, we have a scene here called sample scene. This is the scene actually we are working on right now. We also have the console window. Console window is for debugging your code. If you have any error in your code, it's going to show here. If you have any warning in your code, it's going to show here. The console is your friend and enemy at the same time, because it can help you, and it can help you to debug your code, and sometimes you might get frustrated to see the warnings, or it will make sense in the future. You can also save your layout however you like. You can dock everything however you like, and just go on the default, click on the default and save layout and give it a name and click on the save. It's going to save the layout. You also have some tools on the left top corner. The first one is for moving around. The second one is moving your object in a specific axis, in my case X or Y or X or Y. The next tool is the rotation tool. You can rotate objects with this tool. Fourth one is scaling. You can scale object in one axis, and the other one is for 2D objects. This is like a freeform tool, and the next one is like a hybrid of every tool. You can rotate, scale and move with one tool. I personally don't use this tool because it's just too much for me. I just use one at a time. I also don't take my mouse there and select a tool and then a second later I need to select another tool and I go there and select another tool. I don't like to do that way. You always should use shortcuts as often as you can. It's gonna save you a lot of time. So the shortcuts for these tools are, the first one is Q, second one is W, third one is E, fourth one is R, and the fifth one is T. In the inspector, if I select the square in the inspector, you can see there's at the end of every component there's also a button called add component. You can add any type of component to any type of object you like. If I click on the add component button, there's a bunch of components here, but right now we're not going to add any kinds of component. I think right now might be the best time to import your projects or the project we will be working on, because I think I have given you the basic rundown of the Unity editor. So just go on the project window and right click and create a folder named sprites. You should always organize your projects. Organizing is like the key factor to working fast or working in a big project. Don't like keep your sprites, sounds, musics, videos, objects and everything in one folder. Separate them by folder. It's going to, organization is key. So I have created a folder called sprite and I'm going to bring over my sprites here. I'm going to select them and drag and drop them in the folder. You can just like drag and drop your sprites, models, anything that you want to have in your game. Just drag and drop them in your project window and it's going to be imported. So right now I have imported a player and a platform. I can drag the player and drop it in the scene view and it's going to also pop up on the hierarchy. As you can see, if I turn off the sprite renderer, this object is there but it's not rendering. That's why you need a sprite renderer in 2D objects, and I'm going to add a component to it. It's called rigid body. I'm going to just type it in my keyboard, like search it, rigid body 2D. Rigid body 2D or rigid body, what rigid body does, it simply add physics to your object. If you have a object or like a model that you want to have physics applied, just add a rigid body to it and it's going to have physics applied to it. Right now we have added a rigid body to our player. Now if we click on play, as you can see, player will just fall through the space because it has physics applied and the gravity is pulling the player. If we exit out of the play mode and take our platform and place it in the scene view, click on play again, you will see that the player falls through the platform. Why? You just see the platform but you can't interact with it because it doesn't have any collider. So what we are going to do is add a box collider to our platform. Remember this, if you have anything that you need to be able to like collide with objects, you add a collider to it. Any kind of collider, like in my case it's a box type or square type thing, so I'm going to add a box collider. If it was a sphere, I would use sphere collider. There are different types of colliders, so choose whatever suits you best. But right now if I click on play button, as you can see, still the player falls to the platform. Why? Because my platform has a collider but the player doesn't have any kind of collider. So what we need to do is add a collider to our player. Click on add component and add a box collider 2D to our player also. And right now if we click play, you will see that the player rests on the platform. That's it. That's the basic of Unity, importing projects, all that stuff. Right now just play with your Unity, rotate the player in a certain way and see what happens. Also you will see me a lot do that, like right now what I have done here, maximize a window. Just select whatever window you want to maximize and just hold shift and press space. It's going to maximize any window you have selected. As you can see, what I've done here is I have duplicated the player. What I've done is just select the player and press hold Ctrl and D. It duplicates the player or whatever object you have selected. Now play with it, have fun. Duplicate the player bunch of times, rotate it in an angle and click play, see what happens. Do whatever stuff you want at this point. Just get familiar with Unity's editor, Unity, whatever tools it provides, what happens when you add something, what happens when you remove something. Just play with Unity and get familiar with Unity. That's basically it for this video. In the next video we're going to learn, or we're going to program our game for the first time. I'm pretty excited for that. I hope you are also. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. And we will see you in the next part of this series. Hope you have a great week.